crisis. No one in this room wants to prepare for a crisis. What happens in a crisis, Mickey, when the SEC sends you a letter and they say, you know what, we need to talk to you? What does a fund manager do?
The natural reaction is they freeze and they look for help. And so it's always going to involve their law firm. But the way we try to help managers is in anticipation of that flash event, making sure that everything's organized and maintained and the records are clean so that we can move quickly and facilitate the information requests when they happen. The worst case scenarios, that letter comes across and they don't have any of their documents in order. Everybody's staying there the whole weekend to try to get something together, and they deliver an imperfect product to the examiners when they show up and start that process on a bad note.
I was actually curious, Mark, in the PR space, it's one thing when it happens, it's a second thing when it happens and everybody knows that it happened. So I'd love to hear your take on that.
From a crisis perspective, in any business, you want to always try to control the story as much as possible from the beginning. That means if you know that your fund, your private equity group, your business, your service provider, if you know, and you do, because if you're in the industry, you know where your weak spots are, you should be prepared before it comes out. Because when the media, I was an executive producer with NBC, I was an investigative producer as well. And when the media comes after you, don't think you're smarter than them. These guys get paid to question, to dig, and the worst thing you can do is lie to them. Second lesson is get in front of the news. If you have something that's negative, release it where you control it, and as much as possible you try to control the questions.
From a cybersecurity standpoint, most places are using some sort of managed service provider. They're not doing the IT or cybersecurity in-house. So really, that's your first line from an incident response standpoint. From a fund manager standpoint, who's talking to the media, who's not talking to the media, kind of getting that all under control. I mean, the control aspect is key because you're really kind of talking about keeping the, what you can confidential, maintaining your integrity, in the business.